Taking care of the soil can reduce the level of inputs required for a given amount of quality produce. That's why today we bring you regenerative type of farming. Soil health has a vital impact on not only improving the quality and quantity of the food produced, but also healthy soil makes the plants more resilient against extreme weather and pests. As part of this regenerative agriculture or regenerative farming approach, some farms have adopted a no-till or reduced-till approach to soil management, with the idea being to reduce the amount of disruption to the soil. There is evidence that reduced tilling provides many benefits such as reduced soil erosion, improved soil structure, helps build soil organic matter, and so on. Our experts today tells us that mulching, which is one of the practices involved in regenerative farming approach, has numerous benefits for soil health and plant health, resulting in higher productivity with reduced environmental impact, conserving soil moisture, minimizing soil compaction and erosion. Now, are you ready to learn more about regenerative type of farming? Well, let's go to the farm. Thank you, Mato. Hello and welcome to yet another exciting episode of Kilimo na Biashara show. And I always tell you this is a show that brings you different types of farming methods and all emerging trends in the agribusiness world. Well, I know you're so used to seeing me in the farm doing a particular type of farming. Well, newsflash. Today, we're not doing any type of farming, but we're going to show you how to move to regenerative agriculture. This is evolution of the conventional agriculture, where you use less inputs, you embrace organic agriculture. Yeah? So today, are you ready for this show? Today we focus on regenerative agriculture. And well, as you can see right here, Fiongo is here preparing mulch. I don't know for what. Can we meet him? Okay, come. Fiongo.
Ah, hi Linda.
Hello.
Hi.
How are you?
I'm good, karibu.
Asante.
Yeah.
I'm seeing mulch here, lakini sijui ni ya nini specifically.
Yeah, so this is for covering the soil. This has no seeds. And then before planting, we cover the ground. Okay. So that one is that we conserve moisture, and secondly is that we cover weeds. So we reduce on weeding and the intensive labor. And we are cutting it to smaller pieces so that it covers the soil completely, and it also smooth for the young seedlings.
I can help you. I don't want you to stop doing your work.
Yeah, sure, karibu.
I see you already have a panga here. Yeah. So ni kukata tu?
Yeah, ni kukata tu.
Into
small pieces.
Okay.
Yeah.
So this is where regenerative agriculture begins.
Yeah, so this is where it all begins with mulch. Regenerative is about the soil. So principle number one on regenerative agriculture is covering the soil. Yes. So here we are preparing mulch. And then after cutting it down into small pieces, we take it to the garden. So
is this enough? The ones that we've prepared, we can plant somewhere?
Yeah, this is enough for a bed.
Then I see the wheelbarrow is here.
Yeah, it's right here.
I can bring it.
Yeah.
Now we can go to the garden?
Yeah, let's go. It's up there.
Wow. Wow, I can't wait to see what happens next. We're going to plant and you have to follow me to see what happens next. So this is the bed that we are going to plant?
Yeah, it is. We have already prepared it for you.
So where do you start from?
Yeah, so this end, there is a bucket of manure.
Ah.
So this is goat manure.
Uh-huh.
You can see it's decomposed.
Yes.
We get it from Narok.
All the way from Narok?
Yeah.
Why Narok?
Because they do regenerative grazing and there's a lot of grass and shrubs that the animals feed on, natural.
Yes.
And there's also no use of pesticides or herbicides. So we know it's organic. All the way from Narok we get it. And now we mix it into the soil.
So mtaki broiler?
Yeah, so we attack a broiler, my chickens.
Okay, so
we come and apply it on the bed.
Okay, then you mix with what?
With soil. We just use djembe and mix it into the soil.
We can use the fork right here.
Sure.
So let me mix for you.
Yeah, so
from
you just from the end.
Okay.
Uchimbue ndani ya mchanga. Yeah, exactly. A good farmer. So you're actually doing it better than I expected.
This is actually my favorite part.
Yeah, you're doing it well. So just incorporate it into the soil.
Yes.
So this is where our fertility comes from, the manure. So we don't use any synthetic fertilizers.
Yes.
We don't buy from agrovets.
The soil is so rich.
Yeah, you can tell it's not compacted. Since we don't step on our beds.
Yeah, it's not compact.
Yeah, we step on the pads. And then we also don't do lots of tillage, so we're only preparing once.
Yes.
And then we come and cover with mulch. So there's no compaction. So
yes, it's not compact.
Yeah, as you are mixing, you are stepping on the pads.
Yes.
So you don't get to step on the bed. So the soil is always soft, meaning that like right now it has rained,
yes,
the water gets to infiltrate.
So after we are done here, so what next?
We shape it very well, nicely, and then we come with our mulch. We cover nicely all the sides so that the soil is not exposed to the sun. Then we come with our seedlings. There are some seedlings there, and we plant.
So you mulch before planting?
Yeah, it's easier that way.
Oh, okay, let's do this.
You're going to see it, yeah? So pass me over that rake. So we shape our bed nicely.
So we take the mulch. Now this is the part where you need your pen and paper, because as Thiongo said, first you need to mulch before you plant. Did you know that? Well, now you know. Let's mulch.
Yeah, so you can see when it's cut in small pieces, spread out smoothly.
Yeah, it's not heavy.
It's not heavy.
Yes.
So ensure it's even. And you can't see the soil. So you cover every single area.
Now we plant?
Yeah.
Now there's an art that I've noticed you've adopted here. You've mixed beetroot and onions and kales.
Yeah.
Is it a particular art in regenerative agriculture or what's it?
So it's one of the principles of regenerative agriculture that we have to integrate different crops. So for this case we planted 3. That's onions, beetroots and kale. And we also maximize on spacing by planting 3 varieties of crops in a single bed. Like today we planted about 1 meter and we had 3 varieties. So you also maximize on space and you also produce more.
So aside from these vegetables that you have here, I've noticed that your farm is full of diverse crops. Which ones are these, and are these the ones that are favorable for regenerative agriculture?
Like for here we have different vegetables, about 15 different varieties, so mostly indigenous and exotic. So it's good to have biodiverse vegetables on your farm. So one for nutrition, is also good for pest control, and also for the commercial aspect that you're not going to sell only one product. You're having a number of products to sell. Yeah.
Thiongo, so with mulching, perhaps you can just tell us some of the advantages, especially if someone has seen this particular adoption and wants to really explore in his farm.
Yeah, so as I earlier told you, one of the principles is covering the soil. Always keep your soil covered, and we do it with mulch. So one is that it consumes moisture. We're in the era of climate change with lots of drought and water shortages. So by mulching, you minimize on your water usage. Also by mulching, you minimize weeding. So you see when you cover the ground, there is no weeds that are going to come up. Also, with time, the mulch will decompose and create soil fertility. Yeah.
From where I sit, I see this is a very good practice, but I'm just wondering, how is the adoption, especially to farmers that you've interacted with?
It's a new thing, so farmers are gradually adopting regenerative agriculture. It's good because it's not labor intensive, because you reduce on the work that you do. Your farm looks good, you can see, looks good. And you also minimize on inputs. So no herbicides or no weeding.
Now, if you compare it with the conventional way of doing agriculture, how is it? Which one is cheaper between regenerative and the conventional way?
Regenerative is cheaper because you're not buying anything. You can produce all these on your farm, so you don't have to go and purchase inputs. You can grow these on your farm. It's also good for the soil and for the climate, because even if one crop dies, you're going to have the other two. Or if there's no market for one produce, you're going to sell the other two.
Ah, so that's the trick actually, that's the trick.
Yeah, that's the trick. Yeah.
So aside from adopting regenerative agriculture in vegetables, is there another way in other crops or fruits?
Yeah, so apart from this vegetable section, we have an agroforestry section whereby you have planted different fruit trees. I'm going to show you.
Then let's go.
Yeah.
Okay. Welcome back to Kilimo na Biashara show, and if you're just joining us, today we focus on regenerative agriculture. Look at this beautiful, beautiful farm, right? Well, we're in the second part. We've just finished the vegetative place. Now we're coming to the fruitful place. Now let's find out how to achieve regenerative agriculture with these fruits. So let's join Thiongo again. Thiongo.
Yeah.
Sasa hapa niko fruits.
Yeah, so this is the agroforestry section whereby we have planted different types of fruits. Here is a macadamia, an orange tree.
Yes, and I see there is pears here as well.
Yeah, there were pears before we started this. There were pears and plums.
Now, since plums was here already planted as well as pears, how did you prepare the land to accommodate the rest of the fruits that you've planted here?
Okay, so initially there was nothing growing except these tall trees, so it was all bushy. So we came and cleared all the bush, and then we started making beds. So the beds you see they are on contour, as to slow down water and stop soil erosion. And then we made the beds, and we mixed in with manure. The narrow manure that we had seen before.
Showed me, yes.
Yeah. Thereafter we make the holes about 3 meters apart, planting holes, and we plant different fruit trees, and then after that we mulch. So also here you have seen that you have integrated mulching.
I've noticed that you're not practicing monoculture here. You have several fruits. How do you accommodate all this?
Yeah, we don't grow monoculture, we do polyculture. Even fruits, we mix different fruit trees. So in this case, we have about 20 varieties of fruits planted
20
here.
varieties?
Yeah, we have 20.
That's so many. Perhaps you can mention a few.
So you have macadamia, orange, guava, fig tree, pomegranate, oranges, mangoes, avocados, all that.
I've heard about fig tree. That is really what has caught my ear.
We also have fig trees and other high-value fruit trees like Jubuti Kaba.
Ah, apples as well.
Yeah, on the other side we have apples mixed with a few vegetables. So we have the Wambogo apple.
Ah, Wambogo. People in that farm, they have beautiful, beautiful apples.
Yeah, they're from Laikipia, and we have integrated the local apples.
Can you allow me to take you back a little bit? How did you think of starting regenerative agriculture as opposed to practicing the normal conventional way?
So we have a challenge in the country of food insecurity. So regenerative agriculture first, by integrating different varieties of crops and fruit trees, we are going to solve food security. It's also climate resilient. So you find that we started this farm when the drought was ongoing. We started in November, and you have seen all our trees are alive. We have not lost any tree. So with the little water we have, with mulching, with the integration of the regenerative agriculture practices, we are able to conserve water and grow our crops.
Yeah. So typically fruits really consume a lot of water. So when it comes to regenerative, is it the same? Does it consume a lot of water?
No, it's not the same situation, because you see you have mulched completely. So the little water that we have, we water once a week. Yes, you can tell that the fruits have been going by from January. Yes. We plant them in January. Now we are in March. We just received the first rain last week.
Yeah, they are quite healthy.
They are quite healthy. So thereafter you have seen the other beds. Yes. So we are going to plant legumes and vegetables to maximize on the space.
I've noticed that you've really covered some with a sack. What is it for?
So this was because there was a lot of strong wind during that dry season. And also the sun was very harsh on the fruit trees, so we covered to protect them.
So for how long do you cover it? Till a particular age or what?
At a particular age, and then once they overgrow the sack, they'll be okay because they'll be strong enough.
So what are other measures or practices when it comes to regenerative agriculture?
So we had mentioned biodiversity, integrating different species. Other one is not disturbing the soil. So also here you have made beds, we are not stepping on them, and we have mulched. So again, protecting the soil from sunlight and from the elements. That keeps your soil intact, and also you continuously build it using mulch. So right now we don't have any challenges with weeds. It's only a few that we can pick, and also pests, we can use organic pest control.
So with regenerative, you don't actually till the land?
Yeah.
You just hand pick the weeds?
Yeah, so we say it's minimal tillage. So you only, like when you are preparing the soil, you only do it once. Thereafter you mulch, and maybe if weeds come up, you just uproot them.
So I'm just curious, after you've put mulch like this, how long will it be here until you have to replace it?
So during the dry season it will last longer, but now when it starts raining, the decomposition will be quite fast. So maybe 2-3 months you can apply more mulch. It's good because now it's raining, we can grow our own.
And how about manure?
Manure, we only have manure when we are planting. Maybe after that we can top dress.
So if you compare both regenerative agriculture and the conventional, which ones would farmers prefer?
So the main benefit is that it's low on inputs. So you're not buying inputs, the fertilizers, the pesticides and herbicides. So after you just buy the seedlings, you just apply mulching and watering. So it's low on inputs, it's low cost. So the farmer, a smallholder farmer with a minimal income can practice regenerative agriculture. It's also good for the environment since you're not using toxic chemicals, the fertilizers and pesticides. And you also get that it's also healthy for us because we're not eating the pesticides or the herbicides that we are spraying on our crops.
So for this new practice, which type of soil is favorable for this, and which region as well? Which region can adopt this regenerative without any problem?
For regenerative agriculture, there's no limitation. You can practice it everywhere and around the country. So it's only the species that will change, the crop or fruit species, but the same practice is being promoted.
I know organic farming is not as easy as it is, even as much as it gives you good income. What are some of the challenges for you as a farmer?
So first is on pests, because once you are converting or transitioning from conventional to regenerative, there are pests that come, but those are just signs that your soil is not healthy. So it takes time before you have free crops that are free of pests and diseases. So for that we incorporate organic pest and disease control, mostly by making our own concoctions. After that could be marketing, because the organic market has not really grown in the country. So maybe a farmer could struggle with getting a local market for the organic produce. But with the time, I think even the consumers, we are educating them on the benefits of consuming organic produce. So with time, even the market will expand.
So how long is the transition process for a farmer who's transiting from the conventional way, the old way, to regenerative agriculture?
So depending on the size of land, like for this, we converted the whole piece of land. Other farmers could go gradually. Maybe if you have 10 acres, you could go 1 acre by 1 acre, slowly and steadily. So it depends with the size of land and also the resources that a farmer has.
So Thiongo, from where you sit, do you feel like the government has done enough to make sure this type of agriculture has really been adopted in the country?
So mostly it's promoting knowledge and spreading this knowledge to more farmers, because farmers are practicing conventional because it's the only way they know. So by educating more farmers on these alternative agricultural method, then the farmers are going to adopt it.
I know you deal with a wide range of farmers. For the ones that have adopted regenerative agriculture and the ones on the other side, which one grows faster? What do they say about this?
I think the rates will be close to the same. Maybe it might be slower because you're not boosting lots of fertilizers, but it's healthy crops that you are growing. So it could be slower than the conventional because you're not forcing it, it's just nature taking its course. Yeah. So you can't force it or fasten it. And
how is the market value if you compare organic produce as compared to the conventional ones?
So the current market price for organic products, it's quite higher. It's above the conventional produce. Well, it's because now the farmers, as they are transitioning, there's a lot of work to be done. So it's mostly labor intensive. And maybe here, maybe you might buy manure if you don't have livestock. If you have livestock, you can produce your own, maybe mulching or seedlings. Because now if farmers are used to conventional, they're used to a number of inputs that they are buying, maybe fertilizers, pesticides, and all that. Now for this, now the transitioning is maybe just the practice and the labor and the management aspect of it.
Since you're an expert in this, please advise our farmers.
So I advise them to start small, because most of them are not convinced. So you start small, maybe your kitchen garden, you see that you're eating healthy food with your family. Then after some time, you expand to a whole piece of land. And that way you also influence your neighbors. Yeah, so that way we have everyone embracing regenerative agriculture.
Wow, that has been quite insightful. Thank you so much, Thiongo. We truly appreciate for allowing us into your farm, and we've learned so much. Thank you so much. These organic fruits are truly amazing. I promise. Well, how is your pen and paper? How are your notes? How does it look like? Amazing, right? This has been quite an insightful show. I'm sure you're really venturing into regenerative agriculture as opposed to the conventional way, which is super expensive. This is a cheaper way of venturing into agriculture, and you will get better earnings. How about that? Everything that a farmer needs is better earnings. That's all about agriculture. Thank you so much for being part of the show today. My name is Linda Koskei. I hope you enjoyed regenerative agriculture. You can try this. They're very sweet.